Welcome back to season 2 of the Courtside podcast, everybody. I'm your host, Kean Lee. In this week's episode, we recap games 3 through 7 of the NBA Finals, discuss what this title means for the OKC Thunder. Plus, we're going to be digging deep into what should the Pacers do now after losing in the finals, and my honest opinion about the KD trade to the Rockets and more. Now, before we get started, make sure to hit the subscribe button, turn on that post notification bell, like this video, and comment down below what are your thoughts about the Thunder winning the title. Are they going to be a dynasty? Let me know. Without further ado, let's get into the video. So before we start today's video, I want to take a moment of silence for two main reasons. Number one, I want to take a moment of silence to address the shooting that happened in Minnesota, because many of you guys know there was a shooting that happened in Minnesota, and also pray for Tyrese Haliburton, because if you haven't watched Game 7, Tyrese went down, and it just, as the hyenas said in the Lion King movie, it looked ugly. So let's take a moment of silence. Thank you. So anyway, recapping Game 3 of the NBA Finals. I mean, Chet had 20 points. Jalen Williams had 26 points. SGA had 24 points. Lou Dort had 12 points, and their bench was led by Alex Caruso with 8 points. As for the Pacers, Tyrese Haliburton had 22 points. Pascal Siakam had 21 points. It was actually Ben Mathurin who took over the show. He had 27 points, and TJ McConnell had 10 points. Peaking at game 4, obviously this game was a nail biter to the finish. I can't remember what happened in this game, but SGA Chet had 14 points. Jalen Williams had 27 points. SGA had 35 points. Their bench was led by Alex Caruso with 20 points, and that was pretty much it. As for the Pacers, I mean, Pascal Siakam had 20 points. Tyrese Haliburton had 18 points. Andrew Nembhard had 10 points. Miles Turner had 12 points, and their bench was led by Obi Toppin with 17 points. Peaking at game 5, I mean, this game was not even close. This was a you got hoed kind of game. Pascal had 28 points. Aaron Nesmith had 14 points. Miles Turner had 13 points. Tyrese was held to 4 points, and their bench was actually led by TJ McConnell with 18 points and Obi Toppin with 12 points. As for the Thunder, I mean, Jalen Williams had 40 points. SGA had 31 points. And their bench was led by Aaron Wiggins with 14 points and Cason Wallace with 11 points. Peaking at game 6, this game was actually electric to watch, believe it or not. This game was actually really fun to watch. Pacers won. I mean, SGA had 21 points. Isaiah Hartenstein had 10 points. Jalen Williams had 16 points. And their bench was led by Isaiah Joe with 11 points. Peaking at the Pacers, I mean, this was a full team effort. Pascal had 16 points. Aaron Nesmith had 10 points. Andrew Nembhard had 17 points. Tyrese Haliburton had 14 points. And their bench was led by Obi Toppin with 20 and TJ McConnell with 12 points. And finally, tonight, game 7. This was. Wait, was that the same score? No shot. That's crazy. Um, Pacers lost game 7. I mean, you know, Pascal had 16 points. Andrew Nembhard had 15 points. Tyrese Haliburton had 9 points, and he just went down with a devastating injury. It's torn Achilles, which fucking sucks. You know, what else am I supposed to say? And then their bench was led by Bennett Mathurin with 24 points and TJ McConnell with 16 points, but it just wasn't enough. As for the Thunder, um, Chet had 18 points. Jalen Williams had 20 points. SGA had 29 points. And their bench was led by Cason Wallace with 10, and Alex Caruso with 10 points. So, what are your guys' thoughts on the finals? Just let me know what you think of it. You know, in the comments. Honestly, my biggest takeaway from this game was that this series was fun at times, but the refs in the game were absolute bullshit from games 4 through 7. You know, I'll say that. It was absolute bullshit. It was kind of hard to watch SGA. Like, I don't even know what to say. All right. As you can tell, I'm like speechless right now. All right. But, you know, anyway, as for what does this loss mean for the Pacers, this stings. I feel like this is probably like, and maybe I'm wrong here, Pacers fans, at least from my childhood. Like, for those that don't know, I've been watching the NBA for about almost a decade now. I've been watching the NBA for like about 15 years. Wait, no, like almost 2 decades. Sorry, my math is wrong. 2 decades. So this might have been the worst loss, like worst like loss in a final since probably back in 2016 when Golden State went like blew a 3-1 lead, in my opinion. You know, just because, you know, they had the best record. I think they had like they were number one in almost every statistical category. So that's what it is. But yeah. Anyway, for OKC, like, and I mean this, I'm trying not to be salty here, but like I have to be straight up with you. I have never in my life hated a team more than I did with the Oklahoma City Thunder. All right. All right. I used to like them a lot when it was like KD and Russ and James. Not anymore. This team, and to all my family who watches my YouTube videos, particularly my Uncle Tony, who is also a sports fan, I'm sorry. But this team is so fucking annoying. I hate this team with a burning passion. Like, what's crazy is I was talking just now, actually, talking to my friend Baird. You know, you know, let me read you some of the texts I sent him. All right. This is what I texted him. All right. He posted this on a Snapchat story saying, with the caption, ridiculous the amount of free throws they give him. I commented, dude, I hate this team with a fucking passion. He replies with, same, fucking ridiculous. And then I text him back saying, dude, I hope this ring is one done. And have you seen their post game interviews? And he says, yes, I've seen them. I hate Chet so much. Dude, I hate Shea more. His game is so obnoxious. He replies back with biggest flopper in the league. And like, I'm genuinely serious. He is the biggest flopper. All right. Like, and I'll show you guys this reel that I found on Instagram. I'm sorry if I'm like being annoying. You know, let me show you guys this. Um, let me find this. Let me find it. But like, this is what I saw on like, what was it? Instagram, like on Instagram, I think. But it's like, oh, is no, not this one. There was an Instagram reel from Jeffrey Bowie, who's like one of my favorite content creators. He did this and it was nuts. If I could find where he put it though, that's the question. Let's see if I could find it. Oh, here it is. It's obnoxious. Take a look at this. All right. 1,000%. 1,000 1,000% accurate to the maximum. So congratulations, OKC. You guys won the championship. All right. That's all I gotta say. All right. Anyway, I know a lot of you guys are gonna be asking me about the two trades that already happened. Let's start with the Desmond Bain trade. I honestly I'm gonna go rapid fire with these. I actually like the trade, but the thing was with this trade is that I honestly thought they needed a point guard. They needed a point guard. The Magic did, and Desmond Bain, and correct me if I'm wrong here when I say this, he's not a point guard. Desmond is not a point guard. He's a shooting guard. So is Jalen Suggs gonna be point guard? I'm not sure if Jalen did play point guard in his in college, to be honest with you, or in his rookie year. So I don't know. I like the fit though, because he's a 3-point shooter, and they want to go all in. So I like this move for the this face. God, I forgot his name. For Desmond Bain. But yeah. As for the Grizzlies, I don't know what to make of it. I understand this season was very disappointing. Very disappointing. But, you know, I didn't expect this to happen. To be honest, I didn't expect that I was to me, I thought they were gonna run it back. I understand Ja, Triple J, and Desmond, they were up for I think massive extensions, and they didn't want to do that. So yeah. So what are you guys' thoughts? Let me know in the comment section below. Moving on to our next segment, and we're going to be digging deep into the biggest trade that happened today. Because I know a lot of you guys are asking me questions about the Kevin Durant trade to the Rockets. I honestly, honest to God, I have a love-hate relationship with this trade. First of all, I'm glad that, KD, like, is competing, but at the same time, it kind of sucks because I personally wanted to see them run it back, but you know, the time had to come. You couldn't trade Brad because he has a no trade clause, and he's on an awful contract. And then of course you have what's his name? Book, who's too young, and all hell would have broken loose in Phoenix if that happened. So Katie was the only option. Um, as for Houston, I think this lineup right here is gonna be nasty. You got Fred VanVleet, Amin Thompson, Kevin Durant, Jabari Smith Jr., and Alperen Sengun. That is a very disgusting lineup right there. Like that lineup to me, shit, that lineup is freaking nasty. As for Phoenix, I think they should just ship Jalen Green and see what they can do with Booker and Beal. You know, I honestly don't know. I'm sorry if I sound a little pouty and frustrated. It's just so upsetting, to see the Thunder win. You know, one of the most least deserving teams to win it. But, you know, as Drake said, it is what it is. So here we go. All right, moving on to our next segment, we're going to be digging deep into what every team should do this offseason. Now, keep in mind, there's going to be some repetitive ones. Okay. So I apologize for that. You know, so if I say the same thing, you're like, Q, you need to say something else. I'm serious. All right. I just don't know what to come up with. All right. But anyway, all right, we have this one tier, which is what every team should do this offseason. Now, keep in mind, there are some teams that already got a jump start on this offseason and stuff like that. So that's the number one thing. And number two, if I say something that you guys already need, I apologize. I don't follow your team as well as I do with other teams. Okay, so bear with me. But anyway, enough talking. Let's talk about the Dallas Mavericks. What should they do this offseason? I honestly, well, obviously, I think they need a point guard because Kyrie's not playing until further notice. And I think, this team, I think they also need to trade one of their bigs because I think when they draft Cooper Flag, which I think is stupid, like they were gonna have too many players on the front court, and I think they're gonna start Cooper right off the bat. The Orlando Magic somehow, some way get a point guard, somehow, some way. I know people are gonna be saying like, "What are you crazy?" Look, this team has everything you need. The reason why I was confused by this Desmond Bain trade was Desmond doesn't play the point guard unless Jalen Suggs does, like often and not. Let me know, Magic fans. But I like just get a point guard. The Denver Nuggets. To be honest with you, I honestly don't know what they should do. The Nuggets, and there are gonna be a few teams on this list here where I just don't even know what they're gonna do this offseason. Like this team right here might have probably the most confusing offseason. There's gonna be other teams, like I said, but right now I just don't know what they should do. The Pistons of what should the Pistons do this offseason? Honestly, God, probably get another star to pair with Cade because like this I really like where this Pistons team is headed. The only issue is I just wish they could add another star so like, they could be really good even next year, because sometimes with these teams that make the playoffs for like the first time in a while, they go one and done. I'm just saying. The Pelicans. I honestly think they should just run it back. Look, this team was very disappointing last year, but you also have to factor in they probably had the worst injury luck out of any team this season. So yeah, I honestly think they should just run it back. You know. Anyway, moving on to our next team, we got the Brooklyn Nets get younger. That means trading Cam Johnson. All right, look, I love Cam Johnson. I think he deserves to be on a title contending team. All right, just get younger if you're the Nets. The Hawks. Trey, it's time to trade Trey Young. All right, look, I love Trey. I think he's a great player. But this will be Trey's third rebuild. All right. I think if I'm Trey Young, I'm requesting a trade. All right. I think his time in Atlanta has been fun and not fun. I know that sounds really harsh, but like it's time to move on. All right. The Pacers. I think they need to get a point guard because without Hallie for probably all of next year, and I love next year, they need to get a point guard. And look, I love TJ McConnell. I've had some high praises for him. And I'm sorry for saying this to Pacers fans, especially with the way their season ended tonight. TJ is not a number one point guard. He's a backup point guard. All right. So try to get a point guard. Maybe get Dennis Schroeder somehow. I know Dennis is not an upgrade over Hallie, but somehow get a backup point guard. The Timberwolves. I think this is one of the teams where you just have to run it back. Cause like on it, like because they lucked out, they they didn't get KD, so just run it back with this core. Next up, we got the Knicks. I honestly think the Knicks should just run it back. And I know that sounds really stupid, but like this team is just I don't know, like they need to get a new coach. All right. And honestly, I think the best option for this team is to just run it back. The Cavs. The Cavs, the Cavs, the Cavs. Honestly, just run it back. You know, this team is like this team is still was still really good. Like they just like the injury bug just bit them at the worst time possible. The Rockets. Well, well, they got KD, so I would say somehow, some way, sign Fred VanVleet to like a pay cut or something like that. I don't know. The Miami Heat somehow, some way get Giannis. All right, because right now, and I'm saying this respectfully, the East this upcoming season is gonna freaking suck. Like if you're gonna tell me, like if you ask me who's the best team in the East, all right, I'm just gonna be like, I'm gonna change on the fly. Like I'm gonna one day say the Knicks. One day I'm gonna say, oh, it's gonna be the Sixers. One day I'm gonna say, oh, and I know it's unrealistic. I'm gonna say the Hawks. Like just somehow get star. The Wizards. Honestly, just try to get younger. I don't know what the Wizards should do. All right. They're a rebuilding team. Just keep building. You know, that's all I gotta say. The Grizzlies. Honest to God, I think they should just blow it up. Which I know sounds really crazy, but what can they do? Like they traded one of their big three in Desmond Bain. All right. They have draft picks, which I think is good. But just I don't know, blow it up or just I don't know. The Raptors. Try to attract Giannis. Try to attract Giannis. All right. All right. This team has the assets to get a Giannis. But will Giannis want to play in Toronto though is the big question. And can he make them like a contender? Because they haven't, no offense, they haven't done shit in like a long time. The Warriors get size. All right. This team was absolutely bodied in the second round against Minnesota because they didn't have a guy that they can handle against like Randall, Naz Reid, and Rudy Gobert. The Utah Jazz get younger. That's all I gotta say. The Sacramento Kings. Honestly, I honestly don't know what the Kings should do. You know, because they're in a shithole right now. I would say for the Kings, get a point guard. Just get a point guard. The Oklahoma City Thunder do nothing. All right, they won the title. All right, just don't do anything. The Bucks. Three words. Blow it up. It's time. All right. I understand Buck fans want Giannis to stay. How, Chris Broussard, who's one of my favorite sports reporters, said this best. How in the hell are they going to compete in the Eastern Conference Finals? All right. Yes, Giannis could go meta human mode, but who's his second best player when he's out? Just blow it up. The Blazers get more younger. All right. Like, and I'm talking trade Simons, trade Grant, and trade Aiton. Start like, all right, it's time to get younger. The Clippers. Honest to God, just think they should just run it back. Just run it back at this point because this Clipper team is still good, you know, but just run it back and see what happens. The Hornets. I don't know. Probably just run it back as well. You know, like this team is still like young. All right, this team is still young. You know, they have time, but for now, just run it back and see if you could somehow make a surprise appearance in the playoffs. The Lakers get a center. They have everything you need. All right. And I think, yeah, they have everything you need. All right. My only issue is can they actually do something this offseason? And right here, you have got to be freaking kidding me. The Suns. Well, first of all, thanks a lot for making me look like a fucking idiot, Phoenix. Sorry about that. Um, I was gonna say run it back with this trio, but now that KD's gone, trade Jalen Green for some pieces or something like that. All right. I don't freaking know. This team made me look like a freaking idiot. The Spurs try to get Giannis. Try to get Giannis or something. All right. The Chicago Bulls. Keep rebuilding. This team is. I think this Bulls team is nice, but they're like middle of the pack right now. The Sixers, honestly, just run it back. All right, because the East this year is weak. I think they have a chance. And finally, the Boston Celtics. Like the Nuggets, the Knicks, the Cavs, the Bucks, and the Suns. I just don't know what. All right, when I said I don't know what they should do this offseason. The Celtics should do. Because for those that don't know, this team is the most screwed team financially, financial wise. So right now, I don't know. Maybe run it back. I don't know. But that's gonna do it for every team's offseason according to Ki-Hoon Lee. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, even though I was kind of in like a depressing mood, I would say. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please get a like, subscribe, turn that post notification bell. This concludes season 2 of the Courtside podcast. I know it's crazy. But with that being said, I hope you guys have a fantastic summer. Stay safe, stay warm, stay active, and I'll see you guys in a few months.